U.S. officials are working to lift a ban on transgender individuals in the military. In fact, lifting that ban might happen very, very soon, according to the Associated Press.
An announcement is expected this week, and the services would have 6 months to assess the impact of the change and work out the details. Military chiefs wanted time to methodically work through the legal, medical, and administrative issues and develop training to ease any transition.
They are going to assess what kind of impact this is going to have on the military. They want to make sure they cross their T's and dot their I's. I know that seemed like a very wordy way of explaining what they want to do, but essentially they want to ensure that if transgender people are in the military, they have the right medical procedures put in place in order to give them the medical care they need while they're in the military. So officials said the military also wants time to tackle questions about where transgender troops would be housed, what uniforms they would wear, what berthing they would have on the ships, which bathrooms they would use, and whether their presence would affect the ability of small units to work well together.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't think this is something you want to stumble into. You don't have to belabor it either. These are decisions that could each take a day. Mm-hmm. I know they'll do more. They'll study it, and they'll do committees, and it's the military, and it's a big bureaucracy. But that's okay. I mean, think it through, figure it out. Now, in the meanwhile, they say their unofficial policies look the other way. If there are transgender people that are serving, they're not going to try to kick them out. Now, technically, they're supposed to. So if somebody comes in and says, I'd like to join, or I'm in the military and I'm transgender, they probably are going to kick him out while they do the studying in that 6-month period. But they're going to try not to. And yes, it does take some time. Yes, it's important to do it right. So you check off all the boxes and everybody's comfortable with the transition, if you will.
Yes. And also, according to surveys, there are as many as 15,000 transgender people in the military right now.
I can't believe it.
Which is such a high number. I know, I couldn't believe that either. And it's based on surveys, so people are self-reporting, which I think is interesting. But what I also kind of find fascinating is that the military would turn anyone away from wanting to risk their lives to serve the country, right? Mm-hmm. Like, beggars can't be choosers. Like, who are you to say, oh, you're gay, we don't want you in the military. Oh, you're transgender, we don't want you in the military. I mean, you're having people denied when they want to risk their lives to be part of the military. That's crazy to me.
You know, right-wingers would get very upset with you. What do you mean beggars? It's a point of incredible pride to be part of the U.S.
Really?
military.
Would you put your kids in the military?
Well,
Doubt
unfortunately,
it.
a lot of them would. I mean, the Republican politicians wouldn't. No way, no way, right? But a lot of the actual voters in the country who, and Democrats too, of course. There's a ton of people who have great pride in the military, part of the family, et cetera. Back when the military was protecting the country, I would have had similar pride, right? I've talked to a lot of people who served in World War II. I recently did an interview with Norman Lear. He was a pilot, did over 50 flights, I think. Lucky to survive. Ben's dad served in World War II. Great pride in that. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Something great about that. But these days, we're invading countries like Iraq for no reason. You're going to have your kids die in Iraq so that, oil prices can go higher and defense contractors and oil companies can make more money? Hell no.
And it goes beyond that, Cenk. I mean, even if we were going to wars that were justifiable, consider the fact that a lot of our vets get abandoned after they return from their tours, right? They don't get the health care that they need. They don't get the attention that they need. They suffer from mental health conditions like PTSD, and they're not getting the health care that they need. So that's the reason why I say beggars can't be choosers. Like, you guys are mistreating our vets. There's all this negative news out there about the military, especially when it comes to things like rape and sexual assault in the military. And then you have people who are coming into the military wanting to serve the country, and you're going to turn them away because they're gay or transgender?
Bush gave a speech recently for $100,000 to help a veterans group. And the veterans are severely disabled. And one of the guys who used to be on the board of that organization had his hands blown off in Iraq. Now, somebody's willing to be brave enough to do that for a war you started, right? And then, well, in Bush's case, he's going to charge them money on top. But in regards to this story, their transgender person or gay person says, I'm willing to risk my hands, my limbs, my body, my mind in terms of PTSD, which so many are afflicted by when they come back. And you're like, I don't know, but you're gay.
It's crazy.
Right. I mean, and by the way, so that leads to the last point, which is on the issue of gay Americans, that's already been resolved. and the military did its transition back in 2011. And that's why we no longer have a military. It turns out the right wing was right. It exploded.
It exploded.
It's gone, and we are left defenseless.
Yeah.
Okay, no, or what happened was exactly what we predicted. No change whatsoever in the military. Still, for better or for worse, the greatest, strongest military ever built by man. And having gays in it did not affect it at all, and neither will having transgender people in it.